Hi beautiful people, welcome back or welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be showing you guys how I make cinnamon rolls from scratch. I know it seems like it can be a little bit intimidating, but I promise it's not. As long as you have time to let them rise, girl, it's a breeze from there. To start everything off, I have 1.5 cups of milk that I heated up in the microwave for 60 seconds. I want to make sure that your milk is not too hot or too cold, otherwise it will kill the yeast. So we're going to be adding 1 teaspoon of sugar to this milk. And then I'm going to be adding 1 package of active dry yeast right into the bowl as well. Again, it's so important that your milk is not too hot or not too cold and just right. You want it to be warm to the touch. All right, we're going to whisk this together until it's nice and combined. And then I'm going to set this aside while we get our dry ingredients ready. Perfect. All right, so it should look something like this. We're gonna set this aside, like I said, and start on the dry mix. All right, besties, so first thing for my dry mix, I measured out 5 1/3 cups of all-purpose unbleached flour. I'm gonna add this to my bowl. Okay, next thing I measured out is 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. Okay, and the last dry ingredient, we're gonna be adding 3 teaspoons of salt. Beautiful. All right, I'm gonna give this a good mix similar to the yeast mixture. We're just whisking this until everything is fully combined. And then to this, we're gonna add our wet ingredients. All right, besties, next I melted 1/3 cup of butter. I'm using unsalted butter, and we're gonna add this right to the dry mix. Beautiful. Wanna make sure I get every last drop. We're also gonna be cracking 1 egg right into here. I'm gonna add a splash or 2 of vanilla extract. I like a lot, so I'm gonna add a good amount. As you besties can see, my yeast mixture kind of rose a little bit and the top layer is nice and foamy. We're gonna be pouring this right into our dry mix as well. You know your yeast is alive when it puffs up and bubbles up like this. As you guys can see, it started to turn very thick and creamy layer on the top. That means it's ready to add. Pour that yeast mixture directly right on into our flour. Beautiful. I'm gonna give this a quick stir with my little spatula, and then we're gonna switch over to our clean hands, and we're gonna knead this together. And just knead all of this until it's fully combined, and we're gonna keep kneading for 10 minutes. When kneading your dough, there's no really method. You just kind of want to grab it and pull it, and then push it back down, if that makes sense. So grab one side, pull it, and push it down. Grab one side, push it down.
A little more. No, don't be throwing the dough. Oh my god. That's hilarious. More like a...
Yeah.
Okay, that's probably enough beating my dough.
Drop the dough.
That's hilarious.
My hands hurt.
Now that my man has finished kneading the dough for me, I'm gonna go ahead and grease another large bowl with some vegetable oil and a paper towel. All right, so I'm just taking a paper towel and I'm just gonna be rubbing that oil all around. You don't need too much oil, so we don't want to pool out the bottom of this. We want just enough to coat the entire bowl with a nice thin layer. We're gonna be taking our beautiful dough. I'm just kind of forming it into a nice little circle here. By the way, the dough is sticky, but not coming off of my fingers. That's how you know it's perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna be adding this to our greased dish. I'm gonna be covering my bowl extra tight with some saran wrap. We don't want any air getting in here, so I'm gonna wrap this a few good times, and then I'm gonna coat it on top with a towel. All right, besties, so the last step for now is we're gonna be covering this up with a nice dish towel, and I'm gonna pop this in the microwave, no heat, for 2 hours to rise. Perfect, I'll be be back in 2 hours. Okay, so now that my dough has been rising for 2 hours, we're gonna go ahead and start on our filling. So first I'm gonna be softening in the microwave 2 sticks of butter. If you're prepared, you could go ahead and leave your butter at room temperature for a few hours. That way it's nice and softened. You guys know me, I'm always last minute with everything. So I'm just gonna stick this in the microwave for about 30 seconds until it gets nice and soft. One of my favorite desserts to make is cinnamon rolls. I feel like you can have them for breakfast. You can have them for dessert. I feel like definitely in the fall time, I love to have fresh cinnamon rolls in the house. And not only that, but they smell amazing while they cook. Okay, microwave this for 30 seconds. Alrighty, bestie. Next thing I'm gonna be adding is 2 cups of brown sugar. So we wanna make sure our brown sugar is nice and packed. And I'm just gonna be adding 2 cups, like I said, to the bowl. I literally can't wait for the holiday season, spooky season. You guys, I plan on having the whole background all spooky, and we're gonna do a bunch of different spooky themed desserts. I'm literally gonna pretend like I'm on the Food Network and I have my own cooking show. And I feel like that's what my YouTube channel is gonna turn into for the holidays. Next thing we're gonna be adding is 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. Of course, you can't have cinnamon rolls without the cinnamon. Okay, last 2 things is we're gonna do 2 pinches of cloves. Oh, I love the smell of ground clove. It just smells so like festive and holiday-like. Okay, and similarly to the ground cloves, we're gonna do 2 pinches of ground nutmeg. And these can be very strong, so don't add too much. Oh, love cinnamon rolls. I'm just gonna mix my mix with a fork and just mash everything together. This smells so yummy already. Oh my gosh. All right, so it should look something like this. Looks so good. All right, so now that we got the filling nice and prepared, we're gonna flour up our surface because now it's time to roll out the dough. I like to flour it pretty heavily because you don't want this to stick to your counter. All right, I'm gonna punch my dough and get her out of here. Oh yeah, all right. So I'm gonna put her here. I got my big rolling pin. I'm gonna flour her up and we're gonna get to rolling this sucker out. All right, so the key with your dough, we wanna get it pretty thin, but we wanna get a big rectangle. So personally, first I like to roll it out vertically until I get the length that I want. And then from here, I just kind of flip my dough around this way. We're gonna reflour a bit. And now I'm gonna roll it again vertically so we can get that nice big rectangle. And this does not need to be perfect. You can always cut it if there's extra hanging off the side. Just do your best to get a nice rectangle. All right, so I'm just trimming my edges to make sure I've got a nice rectangular shape. All right, Resties, I brought you down so you can see the general shape that we're working with. It's now time to add in all of that cinnamon roll filling right on top of our dough, just like this. These are gonna be heavenly. Girl, I'm about to eat these for dessert and then breakfast in the morning. With an iced coffee, oh my gosh. Literally, that's gonna be amazing. And what I'm gonna do is just smooth out all this filling nice and evenly. Now, I doubled my filling because I like it to be really juicy with the filling. If you don't like as much, cut the recipe in half for the filling mix. I hate when I eat a cinnamon roll and they're stingy with the filling. Like, girl, please. We need her all up in there. All right, so we're just spreading this out nice and evenly throughout. Really making sure to push it to the edges. That way every last bit of the cinnamon roll has that really yummy filling. No dry cinnamon rolls over here, okay, girl? No, thank you. Now it's time to start rolling, which can be a little intimidating, but literally all you're gonna do is gently fold over your dough, and you're just gonna keep rolling this over like a little blanket all the way down to the end. Okay, just keep going. Perfect. All right. Now I know the trick apparently to cut the slices really perfect, nice and evenly is with dental floss. If you don't have that, which I don't, we're just gonna use a knife and kind of reshape them as we're done. All right, before I begin filling my pan, I'm gonna go ahead and spray my dish with some Baker's Joy. Again, if you don't have this, you could just grease your pan with some butter or some vegetable oil and a paper towel. And I'm just gonna fully coat this. We're not gonna be shy because we don't want anything to stick. I believe this is a 9 by 13. I could be wrong, but it's just basically like a casserole dish. Ready, so this recipe should make 6 jumbo cinnamon rolls. I'm gonna grab my cinnamon roll, and what you wanna do is just poke up the center of your cinnamon roll. That way it can grow really nicely in the pan. Perfect. So I'm gonna grab the cinnamon roll, and from the bottom, we're gonna push up the center part, just like that. Alrighty, they already look so beautiful. So what I'm gonna do now is cover these with saran wrap. We're gonna pop this back into the microwave for 40 minutes to an hour, let them rise for the last time, and we'll be back once that's finished. Besties, they're nice and wrapped. I'll see you guys in 1 hour. So the cinnamon rolls have been rising for about an hour. They look so yummy. Got nice and big, look at that. All right, so I have my oven preheated at 350 degrees. Now we're gonna be taking some heavy whipping cream, and I'm just gonna be drizzling this on top of the cinnamon rolls. All right, I'm gonna pop these into the oven, 350 for 25 minutes, and I'll see you besties when they're done. So the cinnamon rolls have about 10 minutes left. We're now gonna make the vanilla glaze for the topping. I have a ½ cup of softened butter that I'm gonna add to my bowl. We're gonna cream this together until it's nice and creamy. We want it pale in color. After I've beaten my butter and it looks nice and white, just like this, we're gonna add 1 cup of powdered sugar. So total, we're gonna do 3 cups of powdered sugar, but we're gonna alternate. So I'm gonna start with 1. I'm gonna mix this until it's nice and incorporated. Oh my God, the cinnamon roll smells so good. Now I'm gonna be adding about a teaspoon of vanilla. Again, we're gonna cream it until it's incorporated. Smells so good already. Once it looks something like this, we're gonna add another cup of powdered sugar. All right, going right in. Again, we're gonna mix it until it's incorporated. All right, besties, now that it looks like this, we're gonna be adding about 1 to 2 tablespoons of milk. I'm gonna start off with 1. We're gonna combine again. Alrighty, besties, we're gonna add our last cup of powdered sugar. We're gonna give it a good mix and then see what the texture's like. If it needs a little bit more milk, then we'll add another tablespoon of milk. All right, besties, I pulled out our cinnamon rolls. They baked for about 30 minutes. Now we're gonna top it with that delicious glaze that we made, or frosting. You wanna put this on while it's still really hot or warm, so it can melt the frosting a little bit. My man is so excited to eat these. He's just standing off camera, just like watching me do everything. I'm like, babe, I will serve you up when it's ready. Besties, oh my gosh. All right, besties, and that's how you make homemade cinnamon rolls. That concludes tonight's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys so much. Make sure to give this video a big like. Comment down below what type of video you guys want to see next, and I'll see you guys next time.